Hi, this is Annie from the ADHD Minimalist, and today I decided to declutter my clothes. And I've done this 3 times since I started my minimalism journey, and I still have way too many clothes. I was always the girl who wore weird clothes in high school, and I shopped at secondhand stores way before it was popular. And I would usually pick out vintage pieces that I really liked and just felt like they were sort of staples and didn't really go out of style because they'd been around so long. And so I've always had a love for clothes, and especially clothes that last a long time and are good quality. And I recently put about 20 items, vintage items of clothing on eBay. And that was kind of hard for me to do, but I finally just let go of things that maybe didn't fit anymore after I had 3 kids, or that were getting on in years and I wasn't really enjoying them anymore like I used to. So, anyway, today I've pulled out all of my clothes that I could find. I got stuff out of the storage room, which, like, even my jackets and my ski pants and all kinds of stuff that I've honestly never even decluttered because I haven't actually bothered to declutter my winter clothes and my jackets and stuff yet. So, this will be interesting. I have a huge pile on my bed, and the idea is that I'm going to declutter the same pile 4 different ways. So the idea is to try 4 different decluttering methods. I'm going to try Marie Kondo's method, Sparks Joy, the Minimal Mom's idea where you pick your favorites, and then there's Joshua Becker's clothes decluttering ideas about being iconic, and we have the Minimalists, so that's 4. The minimalists have some rules for how you should declutter things, so I'm going to try to apply these to clothes. So we're going to start with Marie Kondo's method, which she says to clean off your bed, make your bed, and put all of your clothes on the bed. So I will say that I have excluded my shoes from this process because I don't honestly have that many shoes, and I just didn't think I had time for that now. So I will show you how much stuff I have brought in here, though. So this is our bed. And I even have 2 things on the floor that didn't really fit. So this is like all of my stuff. This is nothing of my husband's. And it's, I took in even like my formal clothes that I would wear to a wedding or a funeral, and like all of my casual wear, my sportswear. I will say that I quickly went through my underwear and just pulled out the stuff that I knew was falling apart and that I wanted to get rid of, and left the rest in my drawer. And I did the same with my bras, which I just recently went through those, so I didn't really want to get rid of any. But other than that, I tried to pile everything here, and I also excluded my socks because I just throw them away as soon as they get holes, and I don't have all of that many. Like, here is some socks, and I have, let's see here. Here I have wool socks that I use when I ski and when it's really cold outside. So that's my socks, and I just get rid of them as soon as they get holes, and if I feel like I don't have enough, I buy a new pair. So other than that, we have all of this stuff and all kinds of different categories of clothes. So I'm going to go through all of these and see what sparks joy. And the interesting thing after this whole experiment is to see if these different methods produce different piles of keep things and discard things. So anyway, I'm really curious. And then I don't know, maybe I'll have to kind of like do my own edit at the end and decide what to keep. Because if I follow all these rules exactly, I may be getting rid of some stuff that I didn't really want to get rid of. So I'm not really sure. If I think all of these methods work for me, but I'm going to try them and try to be true to the idea behind whoever made the rules for these. So I guess I'm gonna put the things I want to keep on my chair and the stuff I don't want to keep on the floor. So let's see here. This sparks joy. Don't spark joy. It's one of those things I bought. They were kind of expensive. They're Pajama Pants, but I just don't really like them, so I don't really wear them. I almost forgot that I owned these. These are really fun. Maybe I should get these out. I usually like to wear stuff like that instead of your typical comfy pants. So, I mean, those are really fun. They spark joy. This sparks joy. And here, I think I still have some stuff that I've had these for years, honestly. And I still have the tags on them, which I think I originally bought these tights to wear with this. But honestly, I think I would probably just wear this with my jeans and not with the tights. And I had a phase where I wore a lot of tights after my second child was born, and I had a lot of complications with that pregnancy, and I couldn't hardly sit afterwards, and I thought tights were really comfy, but apparently I stocked up too much. Sometimes it's a good idea just to get all your stuff out, because you know a lot of things don't spark joy as soon as you see them, because you haven't seen them forever. They were just stuck in the back of your closet. And like, this is a shirt that I like, but I just keep passing it over because I kind of feel like it's a little bit too tight, and the ends, these cuffs are really not very stretchy. And another thing, I wore this a lot before I had my third child, and I can still get into it, but it's just not the same. I probably still have a few pounds to lose. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I'll just show you the results later. Okay, here I am, middle of the process, still working on Marie Kondo style, and I found I had to take a break and try a few things on. I just wasn't sure about some stuff, and some things were really easy, but now I'm kind of sorting the stuff I'm going to keep on the bed, and I have a lot of stuff down here that I'm not going to keep. See the piles over my knee here on the floor full of stuff I'm not going to keep, and then I have a pile of stuff that's trash too. Anyway, it's going quite well. There's the pile of trash in the corner, clothes that are broken or just too worn out to even give away. So, okay, this is all the stuff I'm getting rid of. And this is with the Marie Kondo style method, where you pick everything up and ask if it sparks joy. I've had so much clothes in this little bedroom, like there wasn't hardly enough space for it. Some of the stuff has been out in the storage room for years, and a lot of my winter clothes and sports clothes I never went through, even though I've decluttered my clothes 3 times. I still missed some things, so I tried to bring it all in here and put it on the bed like she says, and then pick everything up and ask if it sparks joy. Well, I'm going to read the results. So, this is all the stuff I'm getting rid of. I can read up what it is. I'm getting rid of 3 skirts, 3 wool sweaters, 10 dresses, 6 woolen long underwears, 1 cross-country ski jacket, 1 bicycling jacket, 2 shell jackets, 2 down vests, 1 raincoat, 1 lightweight jacket, 1 swimming suit, 1 sports vest, 1 pair of leg warmers, 1 bolero. Let's see here. Made a pretty long list. Then I'm getting rid of 1 sweatshirt, 6 pairs of jeans, 1 pair of slacks, 4 tights, 1 pair of workout pants, 1 pair of sweatpants, 1 pair of summer pants, 1 pair of rain pants, 1 pair of shorts, 6 tank tops, 1 sleepwear top, 1 workout top. I'm getting rid of 4 heavy winter coats, 11 tops or t-shirts that are just casual for every day, and getting rid of 7 dress tops. So that's all the stuff that's in this huge pile here. So, and here's some stuff that I'm keeping. These are my summer dresses that I'm keeping. I pretty much live in dresses during the summer, so I don't use a lot of shorts, but then I have one of my favorite yellow sweaters that I found when I was looking through all the clothes. Oh, here's a few other things I was going to get rid of that I completely forgot. To add 1 more tank top, 1 more pair of pants, and 1 more dress top to the pile. But like all of this stuff I'm keeping in that pile, and my pretty yellow sweater. And then I have a little pile of stuff back here and stuff in the basket there that needs to get back where it's going. So the interesting thing will be to see if this pile gets bigger or if it actually diminishes when I try doing a different type of decluttering. Hi, it's early in the morning here, so I probably have morning voice. This is a pile of clothes I decided to keep behind me when I was decluttering yesterday using KonMari's method. And today I decided to try to declutter
the same amount of clothes, like the exact same clothes, again with the minimal moms method. So she said, like KonMari, like make your bed so you have somewhere to put stuff. And then instead of putting all of your clothes on the bed, I'm just going to put my favorites on the bed. And she also said to make a list of how many items you think you need that you would be comfortable with for 2 weeks. So how many tops do I need for 2 weeks? How many pants am I comfortable with for 2 weeks? And actually went and made a list, and it might be more clothes than I actually need, but I'm gonna try. Like I think I need one top for every day for, honestly, after I wear it, I put it directly in the wash. My pants, on the other hand, I wear several days in a row. So it kind of depends from item to item. And I'm doing this method on like my winter clothes, my summer clothes, and my coats and stuff like that all at the same time. And I noticed in her video she was mainly just doing what was in her wardrobe at the time, so it wasn't such an overwhelming amount of items. But I did go and make a list of how many things I think I need of each item, and I mean like included like coats and sportswear and like clothes for skiing and clothes for cross-country skiing and all kinds of stuff. I'm not doing anything with shoes right now, so shoes are just completely left out of this. So besides that, the minimal mom says try to take emotions out of simplifying. And she says that, I mean, everyone deserves to have clothes that fit you well and that you look good in. So you're starting to build a wardrobe around the size that you are now. Because like, I mean, I've done that too. I just realized the other week I was walking around in the same ratty beige sweater because it was warm, and I didn't have a single sweatshirt, and it looked terrible because I just wore it out. It was like full of like balls everywhere, and I don't even look good in beige. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I went out and bought a new sweater, and that one ended up in the trash. But I think we all do this. Like maybe we want to lose 5 pounds, but we think we'll buy clothes later. But honestly, I found some clothes recently that I feel really good in the size that I am now, and I think that might help motivate us to lose weight more than seeing stuff in our closet that gives us a guilt trip. Start with a clean slate, and on the bed I'm going to put the clothes that I actually wear on a regular basis, and then I'm going to compare them to some of my other clothes and try to pick the favorites. And then she says don't force it. Like if you find that you want to have 4 pairs of jeans and you only have 3, then write it down and try to find another pair you like. Don't hold on to the stuff that you don't like. And her ideas for trying to get rid of the stuff that you're not going to use is, one idea is just pack it away, and if you need it later, or if you go and lose weight and you need a smaller size, you have it in your storage room. So, or you could give it away or sell it. I probably have some things that I'm going to sell and some things that I'm going to donate. I'm going to try not to just keep anything. I figure if I eventually lose the last 5-10 pounds from my last pregnancy, which was 6 years ago, then I will go out and buy some new clothes. So I'm going to get started and try to get some stuff that I like on the bed. Okay, so this is going a little bit faster than KonMari's method because all of this stuff here on the floor, this huge pile, I picked out yesterday, stuff that I wasn't going to keep, and because now I'm picking favorites, I don't even have to touch that pile. So I am trying to do her idea and compare. So for instance, I got out sweatpants. This is my typical sports sweatpants. And then I have these sweatpants over here. And I'm just sort of comparing, honestly. I wrote down that I was going to have 3, but sometimes wear these instead of sweatpants. So when you kind of have it all out here and you compare, and I see I wear these a lot and these a lot, and then I wear these sometimes, and I hardly ever wear these. Maybe I don't actually need 3 pairs. Maybe I only need 2 pairs of sweatpants that I wear around the house. And it's really important to me that they have pockets. So another thing that I already eliminated was a pair of pajama pants. And here's the thing. These sparked joy. Like, these are pants that my grandma gave me, and they're really funny. Like, they have Eeyore on them, and I would never ever pick these out myself. But they spark joy because they're fun and they remind me of my grandma, but don't really fit quite right, and they don't have a pocket. And a lot of times I like to put my phone or something in a pocket. So I decided to finally get rid of these. Maybe some Probably a teenager or something might think they're fun lounge pants. I don't know. And I was thinking about these, which is something I actually designed and made, but the pockets are so low that my phone is just falling down into the bottom. So had a design issue, I guess, with these. So I'm going to go ahead and eliminate these pants too. And those are both pants that, I mean, when I went through and I asked what sparked joy, both of those were yeses. But when I'm like comparing things and thinking about what am I actually wearing, then those two things were no. So it's interesting how thinking differently about our clothes gives a completely different result, an end result for how much we feel okay about keeping. So I'm going to continue comparing items here and see what I end up with. Okay, so you can see my suit coat behind me there. The only suit coat I kept. And I have been going through all of my things, and let's see. This is the stuff that I'm going to keep. Now I've changed clothes. I kind of broke down and tried on some dresses, because one thing that the Minimal Mom says is that if you haven't worn it for 3 to 6 months and you don't know what's going to change in the next 3 to 6 months that's going to allow you to wear it or make you feel like you want to wear it, then you kind of need to ask yourself, is there any point in keeping this? And because we're out of season now for the summer clothes, I kind of felt like I needed to try some stuff on because I haven't actually had it on for a really long time. So I picked out some things first that were my absolute favorites, and then I picked out some stuff that I wasn't sure about and went and tried it on. And unfortunately, a lot of the clothes I tried on I really like. And like I said, I have decluttered my wardrobe 2 or 3 times before. I just didn't actually get out all of my winter stuff and some of the things that were seasonal that were in the storage room at the time. So now I've tried to bring in everything at once and do this as like one big job, like all in one go, like Marie Kondo talks about. So that kind of made a little bit of difference, just to see everything that I had at the same time. It kind of gives you some perspective too. So I do have a lot of summer dresses, but I'm not a big fan of capri pants and shorts. So I mainly just wear those around the house, and then I'll put on a dress when I go out in public, or a lot of times I'll work in a dress in the summertime if it's really hot. So I do wear my dresses all the time. They're not just for church and stuff. So anyway, I tried. See if you can see this one. Oh, hold on. Here you can see some shoes. Like I said, one thing kind of leads to another. So because I'd gotten out all my clothes and I was thinking about, if I'm not usually choosing a dress, is there a reason? And I realized the reason was that I wasn't really sure what shoes to wear with this dress. So I went out to the storage room and I wasn't going to touch my shoes, but I ended up bringing in a bunch of shoes. And I didn't bring any of the winter shoes in because I already know what I have and I know what I like, and I got rid of the other shoes. So I have about 2 pairs of winter shoes for when it's really cold, and 1 pair for ice, and a pair of hiking boots, and a pair of wellies. That's what you would say in England though, like rubber boots. Galoshes, that's what I want to say. A pair of galoshes, and I left all that stuff out there. I use that all the time. So I just brought in like my shoes that were like for dress up or for summer. And I wanted to see if I had stuff that I could wear with these dresses, or if the reason I wasn't picking the dresses was just because I didn't have any shoes. And anyway, so I've been walking around the house in these shoes for a while in this dress, even though it's the middle of winter. And that is because I wanted to see if these shoes worked, and they do not. I don't like them at all. So just walking around the house for about 10 minutes, I realized that this is not even an option to wear these shoes. I think what happened was that I had to have some shoes for a wedding, and I just couldn't find the right thing, and so I just bought these. And then I've kept them just in case. So I think it's time for these just in case shoes to go. And here's a bag of shoes. This is about 5 pairs of shoes. A lot of them are more like dressier shoes that just, this is a little bit too small. I think kind of pinches my feet. And these shoes, I don't know, they're really comfortable, but I never liked them. So I bought them once to go with something, also for a wedding, I believe it was, or a Christmas party, and I wore them a couple times, but I just don't like them, so I don't pick them if I don't have to. And I mean, these shoes were good for a while, but I don't really like them anymore. So maybe I can give some of this stuff away to a friend. And we are going to add these shoes, which I only wore once, to the pile. But if I'm never going to pick them and I don't like them, there's really no point in keeping them, honestly. All right, lots of trying things on and getting stuff out and comparing it and asking myself, do I like this one better? And then I had my list of things. So I decided I needed 14 tops for the next 2 weeks. So I had one for each day. And I think when I started comparing them, I ended up with 13 tops. So there was a few things that actually, I picked a number that I thought was an okay number. And I actually ended up with one less or two less than what I thought. So that was kind of interesting. And then I do have a lot of dresses. I actually took them off the hangers finally. So these are my 3 jumpsuits, and I love jumpsuits. I wear these when I get dressed up. I wear them to birthday parties. Even if it's like nobody else is dressed up, I'll like hop in one of these things and I feel nice. And that's the main point, I guess. These are some of my dresses that I really like. And honestly, I think I might have a couple more dresses in the other room that I should get and add to the pile. Okay, here that looks a little bit more like reality actually. And I probably do have more dresses than I need, but I put these on again and I really like all of them, and I think I will wear them in the summer because this is sort of my summer suit. I mean, like this one I wear to work a lot, and this one I wear to work, and this one I wear to work, and this is something I mainly wear to the beach. And this one are made out of wool, and so I wear those more in the winter. And like this is a thicker fabric too. And then some of the flimsier fabrics I wear in the summertime. So I actually do have like a winter set of dresses and a summer set of dresses, and I don't usually mix them out of season. And I don't really know why I do that. I like dresses, and so it kind of ended up categorizing that into summer and winter wardrobes. My goal with getting rid of a lot of clothes is that I would like to be able to get all of my clothes in our bedroom, with the exception of a lot of this coats and stuff, which some of them will hang in the hallway and some of them are for summer. Like we live in Sweden and it gets pretty cold sometimes in the summer even, or rains a lot, and we just get dressed in good clothes and go outside anyway. So we do have a lot more outdoor clothes than a lot of other people would in other countries. And because we have drastic changes in season, like this year we've had a really cold winter and it's been fluctuating between 15 minus Celsius to 25 minus Celsius, which is something about like 13 to 15 minus Fahrenheit, I believe. So it's been really cold. It's not always that cold all winter, but you never know. So a certain amount of like extra outside clothes we have to have, that people who live in California or where it's warm all year round, they do not need these things. So you kind of have to take into consideration what is appropriate for you and where you live when you start getting rid of stuff. So I need like all of this stuff back here. I use this stuff, all of those outside clothes on a regular basis, as well as, I mean, we have hiking trails and stuff like right outside our house. So some of these like hiking pants and stuff I like to have, and I don't wear as many cutesy type stuff in the winter as I would in the summer, but I can't handle just wearing black shirts all the time, so or like the same sort of thing all the time. So I do like to have some fun and some color. So like, I mean, a lot of my shirts have these sleeves that are kind of fun retro colors. Oh, that's just a t-shirt. This one has skiers on it, I think. And then if you see, here's another one. Like I like a lot of fun like retro-y fabrics. So that's sort of my thing, and you just sort of have to find your thing and just kind of go with that, whatever makes you feel really great when you put it on in the morning. So I'm going to try to count all of these items now and see. I believe I got rid of more stuff here than I did with the Marie Kondo style. So just to start with, this entire basket here is full of stuff that I got rid of, that these things sparked joy, but I don't pick them. And so I kind of had to ask myself what the deal was. Why am I not picking these things? And for instance, this, I love this pattern. And I bought this on vacation in France and I really, really like it. But when I put it on and I see pictures of myself in it, I do not like the way I look in it. And First I was like, well, maybe it's just that it's too long because it goes all the way down to the floor, and a lot of the dresses I like, they stop mid-calf or around my knee, above or below. And I was like, well, maybe I could just make it shorter and I would like it. But then I started looking at it, and it has the straps look like this, and I just kind of feel like they're pulling the dress up too high, so it kind of like bunches under my arms a little bit, just enough to make it uncomfortable. And so I finally decided, you know what, maybe this dress is for a skinnier person who's taller than me, and maybe somebody will be really excited to find it at the secondhand store if I donate it there. So the same thing with like, I really like this, but I just don't ever pick it anymore. I used to wear it a lot. After my second child was born, I wore this a lot, and I still like it. So, I mean, I might go through all this donate stuff later and make like another final decision after I've tried all of these methods for decluttering, and make my own conclusion after all this, if I'm going to keep a few things that are in this basket or not. But the interesting thing was, like, all of the stuff in here, it sparked joy, but it has no practical use for me if I don't ever pick it or decide to wear it. So, I mean, like I said before, these spark joy, but they don't have a pocket. And like, these are like jeggings, kind of like I was categorizing them as tights before, but I don't really like to wear them. So, I mean, finally, what's the point? Be interesting to see how many more things I got rid of on the Minimal Moms method compared to Marie Kondo's method. I just wanted to show you the summer shoes that I'm keeping really quick. And well, these maybe aren't really summer shoes. Wouldn't just throw these on and go to the store because we have so much snow. They're just not practical. So these are more like a dress up shoe. I have two pairs of flip flops. Both of them are really comfy, and like these shoes, I don't know, these are like the comfiest shoes ever, I think. I just like to throw these on, and these looked good with almost all of my summer dresses, which was a really great discovery because I don't really need to buy any more shoes to go with the summer dresses. I just need to wear these. And these are also like a dress up shoe that they have huge heels. And like, these make me probably the same height as my husband because he's not super tall. He does underwater construction diving. And so when that company where he works for has a Christmas party and stuff, sometimes I've worn these, and they're kind of ridiculously tall, but I feel really good in them, and I can wear them all evening without hurting my feet too bad. A real pair of leather shoes, and I can just throw these on in the summer and run out if I need to. And they look good with my dresses too. I got rid of 3 or 4 pairs of summer shoes, but I found that I have some really good options here, and I don't even need to go out and buy another pair of shoes. All right, so I've tallied this up, and I am now keeping with the Minimal Mom. I'm keeping 124 items. And like I said, this is like my entire wardrobe. It's like all the seasonal stuff and my coats, and I even got in some shoes now, but I haven't tallied up the shoes. I got rid of about 6 pairs of shoes, but I didn't add that in here. So with the Minimal Mom, I'm keeping 124 items, and I'm getting rid of 103 items. I'm going to compare the Minimal Mom to Marie Kondo. With Marie Kondo, I kept 146 items, and I got rid of 81 items. With the Minimal Mom, I kept 124 items, and I got rid of 103 items. So I did actually get rid of more items when I was being a little bit practical and not just thinking about what sparks joy. But I mean, if you have this space and you feel like it really sparks joy, and just opening your closet and seeing it there makes you happy, then by all means you can keep it. But I do not have the space. I mean, like, I'm trying to get all of my clothes, and I did have seasonal stuff out in the other house, but I'm trying to get it all in this house. So I have these drawers here. This drawer, I don't even have anything in. This is our nightstand, and so I have like some books and stuff in there, and my husband does too. And then I have this one as socks. I have one of those down there as winter socks, and I have tank tops and bras and underwear. And then I've had tops for every day and dress tops in this drawer. And the last 2 were pants. But honestly, I've gotten rid of enough pants. I think 1 is enough for pants. And then that other one maybe I can use for something else. And then I have, here, it's kind of dark back here. We are about to install a light. There is no ceiling light back here. But okay, so we have these, and some of them are mine. And right now it looks like my husband has stuff in these 3 here, or 4. I took those drawers out. You've kind of seen me put stuff in them, but so the idea is to try to get my stuff in these 6 small baskets or 1 big one and 4 little ones. I'm talking like everything except coats, shoes, and like winter pants and that kind of stuff. Those things won't go in here. Part of the reason for this change, trying to like have less clothes and get them to fit in my room, is because we decided to turn the little storage shed that we have, where I have a lot of the kids' clothes that one child grew out of and the other child is going into and that sort of thing, into a laundry room. So we're making a deck outside and we're going to put that next to the deck so I can go straight outside, walk on the deck, and there will be a roof over the deck even. So it shouldn't be that hard to get in and out to the laundry room, which I think this is a great idea because I hate having the laundry room in my bathroom because my kids just throw the laundry on the floor all the time and it drives me nuts. And so I'm hoping that they can each have a laundry basket that will fit those in their tiny rooms, and then we can just get it all together and take it out there and I don't have to look at it in the bathroom. So anyway, that is the reason for trying to consolidate my stuff even more.
How Joshua Becker says that you should sort clothes. And one thing that he said was that if you're not really sure about stuff, what you can do is you put your clothes on hangers that you're not sure about, and then you turn the hanger the opposite way. So you're kind of like hanging it on the back side of the pole. And then when you've actually worn it, then you hang it the correct way. So it's easy to like get it off again. And then you kind of see after 2 or 3 months how many things are untouched. So I thought that was a great idea. The problem is that I don't have a lot of hanging space, so I can try this with just a few items. But if you fold things like Marie Kondo does, you'll kind of notice that the front half of your drawer will be filled with the stuff you use more often. So if you pull your drawer out the whole way, you might be able to eliminate some of the stuff at the back, which is kind of the same idea. It's just a different way of doing it. Joshua Becker said that deciding to own fewer clothes was half the battle. So, I mean, if you're going to declutter and you don't really want to get rid of anything, then you're not going to get rid of hardly anything. And he says, buy quality over quantity and embrace the idea of one. So his idea is like, keep your favorite belt and just keep one belt. And then if it wears out, you're going to have to go get another one, but you're probably not going to want to use the one that you're keeping just in case that you don't really like anyway. So, and then you have a fun excuse to go and buy something new. It's kind of the same thing with, he says, keep your favorite coat. And I mean, like where we live in Sweden, like I can't just have one coat. Like that would just be really stupid because we have coats for all kinds of different outdoor activities. And the weather in Sweden is really cold a lot of the time, and then in the summer we can either have a really hot summer or have a really rainy summer. And Swedish people, they have a saying that says there is no bad weather, there's only bad clothes. And so we have clothes to go out in the rain, we have clothes to go out when it's really, really cold outside, and we have clothes for activities like cross-country skiing and downhill skiing and other outdoor activities that I didn't need when I lived in the United States. So where I grew up, there was nowhere to cross-country ski, and we lived 6 hours from the nearest downhill ski slope. So I didn't do a lot of skiing growing up, and then I didn't need those clothes. So, like, that's another thing he says, like, you kind of need to look and see what kind of clothes are appropriate for you, because everybody's lifestyle is a little bit different. What kind of job you have is a little bit different. And then he says to try to limit your wardrobe to a few colors. This I've had a lot of problems with because I like color. So if you feel like you always wear the same colors, maybe that's a really good idea for you. And then you can just, when you shop, try to look out for those colors that look really good on you. Then he says, be happy and content to embrace your personal style. And well, my personal style has always kind of been colorful. I mean, like, you've seen my clothes here in these piles, like, kind of loud, and like these pants are insanely loud, and my only skirt that I decided to keep is really pink, and this is a sports sweatshirt. And if you look over here, I mean, like, these dresses and stuff are pretty loud. So so I don't know, like, he's talking a lot about like iconic style and how my glasses are sliding down my nose, and how like Steve Jobs was usually wearing a turtleneck and jeans, and other famous people like the founder of Facebook is usually wearing a gray t-shirt, and that he usually wears a black t-shirt and jeans. And so like you kind of can pick a style, and like you're wearing like your own like sort of this is your daily suit that you put on, and it's always the same kind of thing. You have 10 black shirts and 10 pairs of black pants. I don't know, however many you think you need. And so, I don't know, I have a little bit of a hard time trying to make that work for me. If I was going to think that way, that I was going to have like sort of sort of wear similar things and have kind of like a really strong personal style, I'm going to try to pick those things out now and see what that would look like. So he says also set an amount to get rid of maybe a third of your stuff to start with, or more if you feel like you have way too much stuff. And yeah, he says wearing the same thing every day isn't boring, it's iconic. And I don't know, I think I couldn't hack that because I really like clothes. Like I've always like kind of like shopped for fun, and I've had to sort of stop doing that. So I recently just bought myself a new sweatshirt because I realized I was walking around in the same ratty sweater every day, and that was kind of gross. I mean, we were still going to work some and stuff, but we were working a lot less at our jobs. And so you just kind of like get used to, oh, I'm at home and I don't need to dress up. And finally I just got sick of it. I couldn't hack it anymore. And the sweater ended up in the trash now, and I went and I bought some new sweatshirts because I didn't have a single sweatshirt. And I do think that's fun, but I hadn't actually bought anything for myself for the last 6 months. And it's maybe not even a conscious decision that I make that I'm not going to buy stuff, but I have about 40 minutes from the place where I like to shop. We don't drive there every day, and then when I am there, I usually have like a long list of stuff that I need to buy that's really important. I have to get it right away, or I have a child with me and the child doesn't have enough patience to let me try on things. So like all of this stuff adds up to that I don't actually go shopping for myself very often, and when I do, sometimes I don't even find anything that I like at all. So I actually found some stuff that I was really happy with the other day, and so I'm just kind of switching out the new things with getting rid of some old stuff that I knew I needed to replace anyway. So that kind of makes shopping more fun because I don't have a guilt trip about thinking that, oh, I'm buying stuff that I don't need and I'm wasting money. Joshua Becker also says, get rid of many things that you only occasionally wear and try to keep one color of accessories. For instance, like if you only have black accessories, then you can maybe do like the opposite of what most people do and keep the black accessories and get rid of all your clothes that don't match them. Or keep the brown accessories and then get rid of all your clothes that don't match the brown accessories. Completely opposite way of thinking about clothes, but it's kind of a fun thing. But I don't ever wear belts, and I am really bad about wearing jewelry, so I could honestly probably dump most of my jewelry and just keep like the 3 things that I usually wear when I get dressed up, and really I don't probably need more than that. So I don't think that will work for me either, but I'm gonna try to like pick out the stuff that I would keep if I was going to have an iconic wardrobe and like show my personal style. And I'm going to try to embrace the idea of one and not keep multiples of things that I don't need multiples of. Okay, here we go. This may not look drastically different. I've weeded out some more stuff here, trying to think of like Joshua Becker's idea of just having one of as many items as possible, to just have one of like one heavy winter coat. And then I've sort of gone through and tried to like pick out stuff. If I was going to have an iconic style, what would that look like and what would I want to keep to go with that? This is what I ended up with actually. I might actually even, if I'm going to take that a little bit further, I might even take away one pair of hiking pants. That these are not as much of a favorite as those 3. These pink shorts might go too. I don't know. I have like the crazy shorts, the striped shorts, sports shorts. And like I said, I pretty much just wear shorts at home or like maybe out in the boat in the summertime or something. And dress tops. Kind of felt like all of these were a little bit like retro in some way. And so I've decided that my iconic style is retro and that I like color. And so, I mean, like all of these dress tops stayed, and all of them fit into the retro style. So I've sort of weeded out a few things there. And some of this stuff you keep it because it's practical and you need it, and maybe not because these are hiking pants and they're really comfortable and they're really functional, and maybe they're not super retro, but I need them anyway. The same goes with like these woolen zips. I got rid of a few, so now I have one thin wool shirt, 2 thicker ones, a wool vest, and 3 pairs of wool pants. And I could probably honestly get by with this, but when it's been a winter like this where it's so extremely cold outside, then sometimes I get these out and use them as everyday sweaters as well. And then a lot more of them end up in the wash. And I have this sweater and this sweater were my mom's. back in the 70s, I think, or the beginning of the 80s. And this is also a retro sweater that I picked up somewhere once. And I just think these are so fun, and I still really like them. And I was excited that I got this one back on. I didn't wear it for a long time because I just kind of felt fat in it after my third child was born. And now I feel okay in it again, so that's great. This is also a retro sweater that is made out of wool, and it's really warm, and I like it. So those are the sweaters. And I still have the same jeans. There's 2 pairs here, and I had 1 pair on before I put this dress on. And a pair of slacks here. And these are just paint clothes and work clothes. And we do a lot of painting and fixing at our house, so I need those. And over here, a lot of the retro-y looking tops stayed. The ones with the retro sleeves or print that kind of looked retro. And I got rid of some other stuff. That red thing is my bathrobe, and I only have one, so that's staying here. And I got it down to 1 pair of rain pants, which is purple, and 1 pair of ski pants, which is also purple. And then I have 2 raincoats, but I use these for drastically different things. Like, I take this if I go on a trip, and it's really easy to pack. And it works well if it's light rain. If it's downpour, then I need this. And I go hiking in this jacket, and this is the jacket I wear when it's not super cold outside. And I do have 2 down vests, and one I wear sometimes under my ski coat, which is this one, because this one is just extra warm. It's warmer than this one. And this is a newer one, so it's in better shape. This one I've had for years, 6 years or 7 years, and it is in bad shape, but it's still really warm, and I wear it if I'm working on the house. And it could probably go in the pile with my paint clothes, honestly. And then I have, this is a jacket for cross-country skiing, and I have, my winter coat is the black one over there in the corner, and then I have this one, which is just a jacket that's a shell jacket. And then I have this one, which is for bicycling. And I honestly don't do that much bicycling, but every time we go on vacation in the summer, I take this along. And if I get a little bit cold in the evenings, I put it on. So it does get a lot of use. So this kind of seems like 10 tons of outside clothes, but I use all of it. And honestly, I probably wouldn't get rid of all of my ski pants except for 1 pair. So, but I'm trying to think, like, what would I do if I was just gonna, like, pick, like, the most important things, like the really essential things. And this is definitely what I would pick as far as sportswear. And then I'm pretty happy about these clothing choices too. I have a lot of dresses here still, but like I said, I love to wear dresses. So my summer dresses have, these are 3 maxi dresses. And these dresses, I really like them. I kind of live in them in the summer. It's 2 of the same thing. I sometimes buy 2 of the same thing if I really like something. And here I have a couple pairs of like light summer pants. And my 3 pantsuits. I just love these. Okay, and then if you look through these dresses, a lot of these, they're all kind of in the retro style. But like this one is like high quality retro dress that's made out of really pretty heavy material. This is a newer dress that looks retro, but it's kind of like a 50s style, but it's not old. This is another retro dress. I've had this since high school, and it still fits, and I still feel like I look really great in it, so I'm not getting rid of that. This is another dress that's kind of like a retro style, but I like to wear it to the beach. This dress is a new dress. I wear this to work. This is another, again, a high quality cotton material retro dress. Just really comfortable. You can just throw it on and pick a pair of flip-flops, and I can wear that in the summer. This is another kind of a crazy dress. People think I look like a candy cane. I got this from, I don't know if my mom wore it or my grandma or one of my aunts, but I've had this dress, and I used to play dress up in it when I was a kid. And I still wear it, and I still feel good in it, and it's just really fun. It's made out of double knit, so sometimes I'll wear it like in the spring and the fall, and not as much if it's really hot in the summer. It's another beach dress. I kind of cover up my swimming suit with that. This dress, I hardly ever picked it. If you always pass it over, the Minimal Mom said, then you need to ask yourself why you're not picking it. Well, this was one of those dresses I kept passing over, and I put it on, and I feel really good in it. And it's kind of a fun 50s inspired dress. And then I realized the reason I was not picking it is because I thought it was too nice to wear for every day. And I decided that I have to demote some of my clothes that I just kind of felt like were too nice and just wear them in the summertime, because that's what I like to wear. I like to, even at home, I'll like run around in a dress at home in flip-flops. Or at home in the summertime, I'm like wearing something like this and I'm like working and painting something outside. So it's kind of like one or the other. And I realized like on a few things, like this one, I need to wash it because it had some spots on the trim. And this dress I still really like. It's a retro inspired new dress and it's just really stretchy and super duper comfortable. And this is also something that I kind of felt like it was too nice to wear for every day. But again, I've decided to demote this dress to everyday use in the summertime. And this is like a retro dress that I picked up in high school. And the one good thing about getting everything out is that I realized I need to hand wash a little bit on the edge here, and I don't think that's a problem to get that out. This is wool, 100% wool, and it's not itchy at all. And it's a really high quality dress. So I couldn't even replace this. You wouldn't even be able to find a dress that was made out of this high quality wool anymore. And seriously, I've been wearing this to dress up things since I was in high school, and I still like it. It still fits, and I'm still wearing it. My sort of suggestion on like having a minimal wardrobe is to find pieces that you really like that hold the test of time, or at least the test of time for you. And that might look very different from someone else might find something that I would never wear that doesn't fit my body type, but it really fits them. And again, this is a dress, I don't know, I paid a lot of money for this dress, and it's made out of wool too, and it's really warm. This winter, this is like a great thing to wear. Some winters it's not like super cold outside, and then this is almost too hot. But I really like this. I wear this with cowboy boots. This dress was my grandma's dress, like back probably in the 50s, and I hemmed it up a little bit because I kind of feel like it hit me at a weird spot. So now this is about a knee-length dress, and I wore this to a Christmas party last year, and I thought everybody was going to look at me funny, and nobody batted an eye. So this is like totally come back in style, which is kind of fun. And old, kind of odd synthetic fabrics have all come back in style. And I have the cape. She had a cape that went with it. In the summertime, sometimes I'll wear the cape, but if I go to a party in the winter, the cape is not warm enough. I would totally freeze. But it's just really fun. It has like these openings here for your hands to come out. And my grandma made this herself, which is also kind of special. So anyway, well, I guess you just got a tour of my wardrobe. Sometimes you can't find stuff that fits you good that's retro, and so sometimes I found stuff on limited edition collections that are a little bit higher quality and a little bit better for the environment, even at regular stores. Here you're looking at my crazy notes, but this is interesting. After I picked out the things that I thought were more of an iconic style, and that just kind of like automatically made me take away things that didn't fit into this style. So I wasn't laying around and thinking like, oh, how often do I wear this? Do I need it? Do I want it? I was just kind of more like thinking about like what kind of style I want to have, and like just choosing things that fit into this category of like retro style. I am keeping 106 items after decluttering Joshua Becker's way and getting rid of 101 items. And if you compare that to, let's see here, with Marie Kondo, I was keeping 146 items and getting rid of 81 items. And let's see here, with the Minimal Mom, I was keeping 124 items and getting rid of 103 items. I think like sometimes when you think of things in categories, like all of the things that don't fit into this retro style category need to go. And I'm not necessarily thinking about winter clothes and jackets and stuff in that, because it's really hard to find high quality warm winter clothing that looks retro-y. Looked at all the clothes through the lens of I'm going to have a retro style, and some things are like a little bit classic. This reminds me of like Coco Chanel, but some things are just really crazy pattern and fun. And all of the stuff that I'm going to keep is going to fit into that. It's kind of helped me just get rid of some categories of stuff that just didn't fit in. Now we're going to look at the clothes again and try to use the minimalists ideas for how to declutter the clothes. And this is interesting because they have a rule in like their minimalist list of rules. And the rule is a 90-90 rule. And if you haven't worn it in 90 days and you're not going to wear it in the next 90 days, then you should get rid of it. Well, I am in the middle of winter, and 3 months ago it was already getting cold, and in 3 months from now in April we're probably still going to be skiing. It's very rare that we have a very hot April, and most of the time we ski in April and it gets a little bit warm in the beginning of May. And in the beginning of May, I'll probably switch out our clothes from summer to winter. If I were to just get rid of stuff that I haven't worn in the next I haven't worn in the last 90 days and I won't wear until May, then I would get rid of all of my summer clothes. So you kind of have to think about where you live. I think one of the minimalists, at least, maybe both, live in California. And in California, you don't need as many seasonal items, and you probably get by with one jacket. And I can't do that. I live in Sweden. You're decluttering your clothes. If you're going to use the 90-90 rule, I would use it for the winter clothes that I have now, and then maybe in the summertime when you're wearing your summer clothes more, then you could get out your summer clothes and then think about the 90-90 rule. If you haven't used it in that season, then maybe it's time to chuck it. I'm doing all my clothes at once. I kind of have to think about, kind of like the minimal mom said, I guess, like, is something going to change in the next year that I'm going to start wearing this if I haven't worn it for the last year? So the 90-90 rule is going to become the year rule. So if I haven't worn it in the last year and I don't think anything's going to change, so I'm going to wear it in the next year, then maybe it's time to go. Then he says you need to have enough clothes that are appropriate for your life. So if you're a doctor, you might need a bunch of scrubs. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't need scrubs. But I need clothes for my work, and I need clothes for the place where we live. You have to have clothes that are appropriate for your life and enough of them. And that's not going to be the same for two different families. And then he has a rule that's called no junk rule. You can divide up all your stuff into 3 groups: the essential group, the non-essential group, and the junk group. So I think that's what I'm going to kind of try to focus on. And then he says, no keeping things for just in case. So if you can replace something for under $20 and you don't have to drive more than 20 minutes away, then it's okay to get rid of it. I'm going to have in the back of my mind that if I haven't used it in the last year, it might need to go. So let's see if we end up getting rid of more stuff this time. Okay, I'm back again. I've pulled some more stuff out of this pile on the bed, and I know it doesn't really look that different. Essential stuff on the bed, and then have a bag for junk and a bag for non-essentials. And then I realized that, honestly, all the stuff that is junk, some of the stuff in this pile of stuff to get rid of is honestly things that just need to be thrown away. So the junk has already kind of like ended up in that pile, so I didn't even bother getting out a thing for junk. Stuff that I think I could live without, I guess, is a good way to put this pile here. Or what he would call non-essentials. Put on my hiking pants and walk from my house over to the nearest waterfall. I would probably pick this jacket. But I decided probably most of the time pick this jacket, which is actually for cross-country skiing, but it's a little bit warmer than this one, but it would probably work. I'm just trying to think like really what is completely essential here. So maybe I could live without that jacket. And then these two, like, dressier tops, I like these, but I kind of felt like I would sort of like to try them on with the jeans that I usually wear with them again and just see how much I like them, I guess is the right word. So until I try them on, I'm not really sure if these are essential. And so if I'm not really sure, I think maybe they need to go in the non-essential pile. The same with this black tank top. I'm not really sure about that. And I wear skirts a lot. And so I actually made this skirt and I do like it, but I don't wear it that often. So I'm kind of hoping that when I go through stuff and get rid of some things, that some of the stuff that have ended up in the back of my wardrobe will get in my drawers where they're more easily accessible and I will actually wear them more. But I have no guarantee of that. So far this hasn't been an essential, but I would like it to be an essential. And then there's this retro zip sweatshirt. I really like this. I don't pick it very often, and I think the problem has been that it hasn't been very accessible. I've had it out with my sports stuff, but I just kind of realized the other day that if I folded this up and put it with my sweatshirts and my other shirts, when I get cold, this is a super easy thing to grab and put on. And I don't know, that never occurred to me before. So it's, again, like, this hasn't really been essential, but I've been freezing and walking around in a ratty sweatshirt. So maybe this is a good option to have in my drawer now. But anyway, if I'm thinking about stuff that I haven't really picked lately, that would go in that category too. These summer pants, I really like them, but they shrunk a little bit, and so I didn't like them as much after I washed them. They don't feel like super essential if I compare them to like some of my summer dresses. And so that was the end. There isn't anything else left in here. This pile of stuff I decided is things that I am going to take a closer look at and try them on and test and see. Like, I'm going to kind of quarantine them in my wardrobe and see if I choose them. And if I don't, then I'm going to have to say goodbye to these. The minimalist method, I'm keeping 99 items and getting rid of 108 items. With Joshua Becker's method, I'm keeping 106 items and getting rid of 101 items. With the Minimal Mom, I am keeping 124 items and getting rid of 103 items. And with Marie Kondo's method, I am keeping 146 items and getting rid of 81 items. Or I tried these 4 different methods on the exact same clothes. So that's what happened. I would say that when I declutter, I call it the spiral method. You know, like you're sort of starting out and it's a really big spiral and you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you hit a point in the middle. Well, that's kind of like what I feel like my decluttering journey has been like. That I first started out and I was like decluttering the best I could, but you kind of learn as you go what you can get rid of without regretting it. And so it gets easier and easier. And like I said, this is probably the 3rd or 4th time I've decluttered my closet. And unfortunately, I never got everything out before and put it all in my bed. So I was kind of like doing it by season, or when we'd switched bedrooms, my son got the master bedroom, and that's bigger. He's a teenager and needed more space, so my husband and I moved into a pretty small bedroom, and those kind of things made me automatically declutter. But I mean, I got rid of a little bit more every time. And so now I kind of feel like I was ready to try to get all of my clothes into this bedroom, even though the bedroom was small, because I had off-season stuff out in the storage room and we need to empty the storage room. So anyway, so my guess is, because I know that for me, like every time I declutter, I get rid of more and more stuff, and that kind of seems weird because you would think the first time you declutter you would have the most stuff to get rid of, but the first time you declutter you keep a lot of stuff because you're like, oh no, maybe I need that just in case, and then eventually you're like, you know what, just in case just doesn't really come, so you can just get rid of more stuff. I picked some stuff out here that I thought maybe wasn't essential, and that like a lot of the clothes, I don't know, I could drive 15 minutes away to a town that is a ski resort and buy some clothes, but I don't usually find a lot of stuff there. So to buy most of my clothes, I have to drive an hour. So, or order it online and then send it back if it doesn't fit, which half the stuff doesn't fit. And so usually I find that's not a very good method for me. My point is with the spiral decluttering that I've because I've gone through the clothes 4 different ways, I got rid of a lot the first time, and honestly the stuff that I kept, it did spark joy. And I mean, I'm not 100% sure if I would call Marie Kondo a minimalist, but she is really good at helping people edit their stuff and then find a way to store it. Her method, I kept the most stuff, and sometimes I think maybe things spark joy and we still need to get rid of them, unfortunately, especially if you live in a small house like we do. We just don't have this space. And so then the second thing I did was the Minimal Mom's idea, and her idea, it was really helpful, I thought, because with Marie Kondo's way, I had to put all of this junk on the bed. And it was kind of overwhelming. I was pulling out stuff and I was like, does this spark joy? And I haven't seen it for a long time. So I was really excited when I did the Minimal Mom's way, where I just put the favorites on the bed. And so then I've kind of continued with that thought as I've gone through Joshua Becker's idea. I mean, having an iconic style and quality over quantity, and then the idea of just having one of certain items like coats. And I just kind of left this stuff on the bed, and just, I mean, I think men, they don't maybe have as many clothes as women to begin with. And so I sort of feel like Joshua Becker and the Minimalists, their ideas for decluttering are a little bit more extreme than maybe Marie Kondo's or the Minimal Moms. And maybe that's a good thing because it makes you think in a different way. And I still probably have way more clothes than Joshua Becker or the Minimalists would ever want to have. But honestly, I'm really happy with everything on the bed. All the clothes that are on the bed are going to go back into my wardrobe, and then I'm going to kind of rethink the stuff that is on the floor here, all of the stuff. kind of a lot of stuff. And I'm going to send a lot of it to the secondhand store, and maybe some to a friend, and some things that are on the floor I might keep because sometimes I do need 2 ski pants. Now I've sort of been really essential with what is on the bed. And sometimes things end up in the wash or they get ripped, and then I don't have time to just go out and buy something else. So there are a few just in case things that I am going to keep. But this is what I decided to keep. Kind of hard to take it all in, probably. This pile over here, all this is leggings and sweater and some coats and some summer clothes and both of my skirts. That pile I decided is going to be a quarantine pile, and I think I'm going to just take a picture of it, and then I am going to see if it ends up in the very back of my closet again, and if it does, then I'm going to need to say goodbye to those things. Let's see, a few things that I took back out. I initially sorted the way Marie Kondo does and asked if things spark joy. Okay, but there were some things that sparked joy that I couldn't logically decide to keep. You just can't keep everything, but clothes do wear out, and you have to get new favorites sometimes. This dress, this one is really similar to this one. And I mean, like, this is also kind of similar to some of these other dresses, but the thing is that I wear these two a lot to work. And like, this one's just different enough that just doesn't feel quite appropriate for work. And so they ended up coming back in the pile. And if I don't wear something when summer comes around, then I'll have to think about that then. Another good thing about like taking everything out of my closet was that I realized like this dress needs to be washed. A lot of my coats and stuff needed to be washed. So I have the wash machine going right now with a bunch of stuff. So some of the things that sparked joy in the shirts that I initially wanted to keep, I later took away, and quite a few of them I just decided to donate. So doing things sort of like a spiral, I was talking about this a little bit earlier, like I call the way I declutter the spiral method, because you start out and you kind of the first round, you get rid of a little bit, but it's not nearly as much as you could. And then every time you go, the circle gets tighter and tighter and tighter until you get to that point in the middle that I would say would be maybe Marie Kondo's click point, where you feel like you have the perfect amount of stuff in your house. All of my winter clothes that I had plucked away because maybe they weren't actually essential, at the end I ended up putting all of those back in the pile. I did get rid of, let's see here, 2 down vests and 3 coats. No, make that 4 coats. 5 coats. Goodness. Okay, yeah, there was a lot more coats than I thought. 2 coats are getting thrown away, and they're in this plastic bag here because one had a broken zipper and the other one had paint on it. And then I have 3 coats in the wash because my daughter was interested in maybe wearing them next year, and they're a little big for her now, but if she wears them in the fall, then she can have them. Otherwise, I think we'll just give them away. And the vests, I might actually donate them. I just needed to see if I can get them clean first. I did actually get rid of some winter items. It's just that the ones that I have here I actually use and I like, so I wanted to keep those. These are my 2 comfy pants, and then sometimes I'll wear like these kind of summery pants for comfy pants if I run out and these are in the wash. So this works for me. I mean, not everyone probably wants to run around in thin summer pants in the middle of winter, but like I said, it works for me. And like another thing, I took this away when we were talking about things that were essential, and then I brought it back because I do wear it in the summertime. But I think I'm going to try to be like a little bit more intentional this summer about clothes. And if I don't get it out very often, it might go, because if I'm going to pick a maxi dress, like these 2 black ones are by far more of my favorite than this one. And then I like this one just because it's colorful. So, I mean, I'm just going to kind of keep some of this in the back of my mind and then try to weed out stuff later if it doesn't get used. I took a break and tried on like almost all of these dresses just to make sure that I still like them. And sometimes if you're a woman, I think maybe that's kind of what you have to do. You just, sometimes your body changes, or you gain weight or lose weight a little bit, or you've been pregnant, or you are getting your body back after being pregnant, and sometimes you just got to try it on. But if you look down here, this is my sell pile, and this was just stuff that was a little more expensive or that is vintage that I thought maybe I could sell on eBay. If I run out of energy in the next 3 weeks, then maybe I'll just have to give it away too. But this stuff either has paint on it or it's broke, and so, or just threadbare. So this whole bag, that's kind of a lot of clothes that I just wore out, and they just need to go in the trash. Then I have a bag of shoes. And this bag and this bag, these are just like regular grocery bags, but a friend of mine wanted to check through these. I'm just going to give those to her. And then this bag is going to the secondhand store, but I have to drive that whole hour away to get it there. So it will have to wait for the next time I go to town. All of this stuff here, I'm getting rid of. So that's kind of exciting. I was in the middle of counting up all the items that I'm getting rid of, and I found I had this top in the get rid of pile, and it matches this bottom, which is these kind of funny pants that don't actually have seams on the sides that you buy in Thailand. And I've decided that I would like to try to wear the pants, but I don't like the top. So one thing that Marie Kondo taught me when I read her book was that it's okay to break up things that come in sets. So honestly, that's not something I would probably have ever done before I read her book. But after I read her book, honestly, got rid of some porcelain dishes and stuff that matched our set that we never used. And I honestly didn't even like them. And I really like the rest of the set, and I'm still using it. And so, like, this is like another thing like that. Like, I'm going to go ahead and donate this top, and I'm going to keep the pants, and they're sort of on quarantine. If I don't use them this summer, then they probably need to go too, but it's okay that they don't stay together, honestly. I might as well just go ahead and donate it. This shirt, I like it, and it looks good on me, but it just doesn't feel very good to have on. And my husband complimented me in it, and he likes it, and he kind of wanted me to keep it, but I never wear it. I always pick something else because I just feel like it rubs me under the arms wrong. And so that's another thing. You kind of have to think about your reasons for keeping stuff. Like, I was keeping this because I know that my husband likes it, but it doesn't feel good. And so finally I'm just going to have to say goodbye to it because I don't ever pick it. Since this skirt, I made this skirt, so maybe I'm just hanging on to it because I made it because I don't wear it all that often. So I'm going to kind of put this on quarantine and see if I actually wear it, because if I don't, I'm going to donate it even though I made it myself. I think that's kind of a place where we get hung up sometimes. We do something ourselves, and then maybe we really liked it for a while, and then suddenly we just quit wearing it. And just because you made it doesn't mean that you have to keep it. And even like sometimes you get something from a friend or something that maybe they made, and maybe it's really great for a while, and then you just kind of like, sometimes I gain weight or lose weight and things just don't feel like they're fitting very well, and our friends are going to stay our friends even if we donate something they gave us to the Red Cross. It's not the end of the world. If they don't want to be your friend anymore, then maybe you need new friends. Okay, after finally counting all of the items that I kept and all of the items that I'm getting rid of, I came up with the numbers that I am keeping 124 items and getting rid of 92 items. And I'm really happy with that. I'm getting rid of stuff that's been laying around for a long time, and some things that I used to really like that I no longer choose, and some things that I wish I liked but I just never liked. Sometimes you just have to realize that you like the idea of something, and maybe the idea of it doesn't look very good on you. So sometimes it's better to just give it away. I didn't add up this pile here. This pile is a quarantine pile, and I did not add that up in the keep stuff because I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to keep those things. So I'm going to keep an eye on those and see if I actually decide to use them or not. Other than that, I didn't quarantine anything else. I'm keeping all of the rest of the stuff on the bed for sure till it gets worn out or I spill something on it or whatever and I have to replace it. But I will say, even though this is 124 items and it's almost exactly what was on the bed after I did the minimal mom's way of like picking what you want to keep and what your favorite is and then comparing. But this is not the same items that was on the bed after I did that. Going through these other processes where I was thinking about like what kind of style do I want to have, and with the minimalist it was more the question of like what is essential for you. And when I was thinking about those things, I pulled a bunch of stuff out of the pile. Remember, I had like this whole basket full of stuff and some stuff beside. And then I kind of went through all of those things. I actually went in the bathroom and tried a whole bunch of stuff on. And then out of all of that stuff, like these things are getting quarantined. And then there was a few shirts that went back in the shirts. And like these two dresses went back in the dresses. So a few things went back in here. But then the rest of it all went in. Actually pulled a bunch of bags out of here already, but it's the rest of it's all in this donate stuff or giveaway. And so honestly, thinking about things from a different perspective does make a difference, because I did kind of like rethink things, and then because I rethought it, it sort of challenges that idea that, oh, I bought this on a certain trip and it's special and I have to keep it, or I've always had that and it's always been there, and so you just kind of don't even notice that it's in the drawer. And it sort of challenges that way of thinking. And now I'm really happy that I went through this pile of clothes in 4 different ways, because it made me get rid of a lot more stuff than I would have if I probably would have done it one way. So anyway, it took a little bit more time to kind of think about it in several different ways, but if you're gonna pick a way, it really depends on your personality. I would say for men, I would probably suggest doing something more like the Joshua Becker's way of doing it, where you kind of like pick a style, or maybe pick a belt color to go with, and then get rid of clothes that don't match your belt. Or that you do the minimalist thing and just pick the essential items. And like I sort of did that to challenge myself and to see what I could really live without. And I found that I could live without a lot more stuff than I thought, but I don't know that I could start with that way of doing things. So the idea of like what sparks joy, or like what are my favorites, was kind of a good way to start. And then once I narrowed it down, then looking at it from a different perspective with some of these other ideas, it was really helpful. And now I have to reorganize my whole closet, which is kind of exciting, because I'm hoping to get some of these clothes out where I can actually reach them and use them, and I hope that I will enjoy them more than when they're stuck in the back of my drawer. I'm starting to put my clothes back into the drawers. I'm far from being finished, but I've got a good start here. I have decided that my advice for you, if you're going to declutter your closet, is to use all 4 methods. Honestly, I never thought I would come to this conclusion, but it was really helpful to think about things from a different perspective. And I think, like, to start with, you could either start with Marie Kondo's Sparks Joy method and put everything on your bed and touch it and see if it sparks joy. But if you are strapped for time, just skip that and do the Minimal Mom's idea of picking favorites and just be ready to let the other stuff go. Like, if you haven't seen it for a long time and it's not a favorite, just let it go, and that will save you a ton of time. And then after that, you can ask yourself, what sort of style do I want to have, and try to only have things on the bed that fit that style. And then ask yourself what's essential, and only have things on the bed that are essential. And then you can go back through your discard pile and try things on if you're not sure that they're essential. Maybe there's things that you thought you liked, but when you put it back on, you don't really like it at all. So I ended up getting rid of all of the stuff I discarded the first 2 rounds, and then I had a pile of stuff that I wasn't sure about after I looked at what my style was and what was essential. And then I kept maybe 1/3 of that pile, and I ended up getting rid of 2/3 is about what happened. So that is my suggestion. Use all 4 methods, and you will probably be the most satisfied with your decluttering. Good luck. There was a difference of roughly 50 items here that got decluttered from the smallest pile to the biggest pile, and I ended up with 124 items, so it was kind of like smack in the middle. So that's what happened for me. I hope that this was helpful for you to figure out the best way for you to declutter your clothes. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, and if you want to make a comment below, I will try to answer all the comments.